Wendell and Manny and everybody for coming and putting this together. My name is Andrea Sorce. I'm running for mayor of Vallejo.
Yeah!
I couldn't be more excited. And again, I want to thank you all for being here for our very first event. I've been so pleased to see so many faces that I know and also people that I don't. And people know me from the ACLU chapter that Chris and I co-founded and co-chaired, or you might know me from the surveillance board that I'm on, or from United Democrats, or some of you all, we've met at city council meetings where I have frequented for several years and made public comments. So you may know me from that. And I have to say it's a little bit weird not being limited to 3 minutes right now. So I'm like, oh man, this is great. I can talk for longer than 3 minutes. Not too long. And for the folks that don't know me and came because somebody told you about me, thank you so much for being here. I want to introduce myself so that you all can get to know me better. I have spent my entire career in public service and in the public sector. When I graduated college, I moved to Oakland to be a teacher. I worked in K-12 education and served internationally, and then spent several years managing nonprofit programs for youth, after school programming, and then economic empowerment programming for refugees and immigrants. And most recently, my current job is a community college professor. I teach economics at a community college in the East Bay. I have the best job in the world. I couldn't feel more thankful and lucky to have the job that I do. My parents grew up in the Midwest. Both of them were working class union households. My grandfather, Grandpa Sorce, served in the Navy in World War II. He was in both the Atlantic and Pacific. And after he got out of the service, he took a job as a tradesman with Chrysler. And the opportunities that he had through the GI Bill and through his union really enabled my family to come up from relatively nothing to the middle class. They built their house from the ground up. My dad was able to pay his way through college. And that value set that I was raised on, that hard work and that responsibility, that grit and that vision for kind of better opportunities, that gave me all the opportunities that I've had in my life. And I think that value set is what instilled in me a desire in everything that I've ever done to try and use the voice and the privilege that I've had to help improve access to those opportunities for others, to make sure that everybody else can have those same opportunities that my family did and that I have. So I met my husband in the Peace Corps in Honduras. We served in Honduras, and then later in El Salvador. We worked with small businesses. We were business advisors and economic development specialists. We worked with agricultural cooperatives. We worked with international organizations that were running aid programs. We worked with youth. It was an amazing experience. And he and I really connected, I think, over that same shared value set that I was mentioning earlier. The desire to serve community, to serve something kind of beyond oneself, to go out of your comfort zone, and to lead and kind of live with integrity. So after we got out, we both went to graduate school, got degrees in public administration, and have been in the public sector. And I think that those shared values and those experiences that we had were what really drew us to Vallejo and what made us want to buy our house here and build our life here and really settle here in Vallejo. We had both lived in Oakland and he had grown up in the area, and we just fell in love with this community. And I think you all know, and I've already talked to many of you about why we love Vallejo. There's all this stuff that's great about Vallejo on paper. There's the waterfront, the access with the Napa Valley and the Bay and Sacramento, the diversity on paper, all of the wonderful things to do, the business community and the arts, all the culture. But I think you all know just as well as I do that the biggest strength in Vallejo, the biggest thing that kind of keeps us here is the people. The community, that intangible, that it's a grit and a spirit and a sense of community that you just don't get anywhere else. And there's just nowhere else that I would rather live or rather be. And I think that's why it's so disappointing when we hear Vallejo out in the news and we see projected the dysfunction and the scandals of a local government that just fundamentally doesn't reflect the voices of the people. We have been at the mercy, I think, of leaders that haven't had our best interest at heart. And we've had people making decisions, management decisions that have benefited special interests and small groups and not the folks that were, here in this community. And more recently, I mean, we've seen it play out with the state of emergency, the public safety crisis, which is a consequence of decades of not responding and dealing with mismanagement. We've got our fiscal issues and the spending that we've been just sort of throwing around with our budget, smoke and mirrors, not taking care of our long-term financial needs. People are concerned about little, day-to-day things like roads that we should really be guaranteed by our local government. And we were told last fall that the only way to provide basic city services was to raise our own taxes. And I just felt like that was unacceptable. So that fundamentally is why I'm running. I never wanted to run for office. I never aspired to. I had no political ambitions. I already said, the best job in the world. I want to teach for the rest of my career. But I just couldn't sit back and watch folks come in from outside and extract from this community, to continue to just represent those small, narrow interests, and to frankly ignore the biggest asset, the community. And I realized that although this is something I never wanted to do or never thought that I would do, that I had skills and talents and abilities to bring to the table. Because I've been bringing people together my entire career. I've had my integrity tested, and I'm ready to stand up to bullies and special interests that want to come in here and take from the community. I'm ready to be the opposite of that, which would be a connector and somebody that actually brings everybody's voice up to the table, brings everybody into that conversation. And what's beautiful about it is that it is about me, and that my name's going to be on the ballot and I'm going to be the candidate, the signs are going to have my name, but it's not about me. And I'm not the only one that has something to contribute. There are so many people in this community. I have met so many already just in the month or so that I've been campaigning, people that have amazing skills and talents and abilities that they are ready and eager to contribute to this city to try and fix our problems. But the current structure we have doesn't allow them to engage and contribute. If anything, it disincentivizes them from getting involved. It excludes them from the process. And so we end up with all these problems festering, unaddressed, and all of these amazing resources completely untapped that I want to be able to tap into and get that different type of leadership. So that's where you all come in. We are up against it. We know the opposition's going to have a lot of money, and we know that they benefit from perpetuating the status quo. So they're going to do everything that they can to maintain it. But I already said this. They don't have what we have, which are people. We have the greatest asset and the greatest strength. So we can prevail, we just have to stick together. And I'm going to ask you all to do 3 things today if you haven't already. The first goal that I have set is I intend to run a substantial campaign, a substantial operation like Vallejo hasn't seen, because we need to take back this city for the people. Yeah. And that means we're going to need to be funded. We're going to need money. And the first goal that I set is I would like to have 100 people give at least $100, so that on our first report we've got everybody listed, the numbers and the total, and I want to do that as quickly as possible. And not everybody is in a position, I realize in this community, we've got a lot of different, not everybody's in a position to give $100 right away. Some of us might already have, and I really appreciate it. But if you gave 50 at the door today and feel like you can go ahead and double that right now and be one of those 100 and help us get to that goal quicker, I would ask you to do that. And if you feel like you can give more, I would ask you to do that as well to help somebody else out that maybe can't give 100 at this time. Or maybe you want to do monthly for a few months to get to that 100 over the course of several months. Or maybe you know people in your network that might be able to give 100. Maybe you don't feel like you can, but you know 5 other people that can, or 5 other people that can give 20. Which brings me to my second ask, which is tell everyone you know about what we're doing, what we're trying to bring to the community, because the biggest obstacle in front of us is name recognition, and we've got to get the word out. If there is somebody that you know that I should meet, please introduce me to them. If you would like to host a meet and greet in your neighborhood, I want to be everywhere in the city, in all parts of Vallejo. Please let me know. I will come by and we will host a meet and greet. If there is an event that you think I should be going to, let us know. You know how to reach us. Let's get the word out. I want everybody here to be the sort of ambassadors for the campaign and the movement that, again, although my name's on the ballot, it's really about all of us. And then the third ask, I think we've already started doing this, but I would like everyone to think about the other ways you might be able to contribute to this effort. And Paula over there has got papers where you can check off all the ways that you'd like to be involved, whether it's putting out a sign, volunteering to walk precincts or make calls, or wanting to contribute maybe in other ways to the actual administration of the campaign. And I would ask, if you haven't already done that before you leave, please do that, so that we can start to build that people power that we're gonna need to run the type of operation that we wanna run. I am so excited about this. I'm so energized by all the people here. I don't wanna take too much more time. I wanna thank, there's too many people to thank, but I do wanna recognize a couple people before we move on to the auction. So manning the check-in table is the most important person, the treasurer probably, Paula Bauer, who is the assistant. Obviously Chris and Deanna, Liad is at the Visions of the Wild, but I mean, we just have the most amazing campaign team. Mr. Bilbo over there, who was the, he's waving off accolades, but we've been eating his food and it's delicious. And he's also been helping the campaign in other ways. Our amazing hosts, Wendell and Manny, who I'm especially thrilled. We have a few amazing electeds and former electeds in the room. We've got former council member Joanne Shively, and 2 school board members, Mr. John Fox of Vallejo, and Miss Anna Patero. And I again just couldn't be more grateful for everybody's support. If I've forgotten anyone, someone wave at me. Ed Miguel has just come in too. I truly appreciate it. But please remember, this is a marathon, not a sprint. We've got 13 months. The finish line is November 2024. We are kicking off now. Think about how you can support. Think about how you can contribute, how you can help us get the word out. I am so excited and so appreciative of all of you, and want to thank you again. Let's get on to the auction. Thank you all.
Yeah! Andrea!